So, this is the story of my YouTube channel. In 2010, when I was 12 years old, I looked like this, and I started making YouTube videos. The second video I ever made was a tutorial on how to draw a Penrose never-ending staircase. It got something like 20,000 views. I have no idea why or how, because objectively, I don't think it's a very good video. I think maybe YouTube was just easier back then. But clearly this early success sparked something in me. I made a channel under the name HOCgaming, that's Harvey Oliver Cash Gaming, and started making tutorials for video games. It started off with a few Minecraft videos, but then before long, in May 2012, I stumbled onto this game, Kerbal Space Program. KSP is a spaceflight simulator game in which you can build rockets and land them on other planets, amongst other things. I would record footage of myself doing something interesting or difficult in the game, then record commentary on top of it, and upload it. After 50 videos, and about 2 years on YouTube, I had hit 1,000 subscribers in November 2012. Then, 3 months later, in February 2013, I hit 10,000 subscribers. By the end of 2013, I was 15 years old, I'd made 150 videos in total, and I'd pretty much hit 100,000 subscribers. To congratulate me, YouTube sent me this, a silver play button. Also a nice note telling me how important I was to them. I never really fully understood why people enjoyed my videos. People did like the sound of my voice, which got a lot of comments, as it still does today. But I think a lot of the success came from lucky timing. The game wasn't incredibly well known to begin with. There weren't that many people on YouTube consistently making videos about it. It was quite difficult, so tutorials were sort of sought after, and I was one of relatively few people doing it somewhat competently, I suppose. But I think that set me up to sort of ride this rising tide of its popularity. So around this point, I realized I had a platform. So I tried to leverage it to do some good. In August 2013, I ran a charity fundraising event called the Kerbal Polar Expedition, in which I live streamed myself on Twitch, driving a rover from the equator to the North Pole in KSP, and invited a bunch of other YouTubers to talk and entertain and try and encourage people to donate. As you can see, driving long distances on land wasn't exactly one of the intended use cases of a spaceflight simulator game, so a lot of explosions happened on the way, but we made it work eventually. This charity fundraising became an annual event. I did the same thing again in 2014 and 2015, which is this one, on the KSP equivalent of Mars. In total, we raised over 52,000 US dollars across all those events. You can see them here. We contributed to 10 different clean water projects in Malawi and Ethiopia. And what's really cool is that if you go on the website, you can see there's a plaque in Ethiopia with Kerbal Polar Expedition on it. But by early 2014, I was getting a little bit tired of making videos only about Kerbal Space Program. I wanted to make videos about other games or just do other things entirely. I started uploading videos of myself playing other games, just like Let's Play style. I did some podcasting type stuff. I even started using the voice to do some freelance voice acting, including appearing as the narrator of a puzzle game called Try. T-R-I, Try. Honestly, this was such a fantastic game until you hear a 16-year-old amateur wannabe voice actor telling you what to do. So, just bear that in mind. I did a bunch of other stuff other than KSP, but none of it ever quite reached the same level of interest. However, in August 2014, I received my Oculus Rift dev kit too. I started learning how to code, and eventually, in November 2014, I uploaded this video. This is the personal menu from Sword Art Online, recreated in VR with full hand tracking using the leap motion. And this video is by far my most viewed video, still. It's almost got 1 million views. Hasn't quite got there yet, but maybe. It's kind of plateaued, but maybe someday in the far future it'll get there. So VR was a pretty good bet then, I thought. In 2016, I decided to switch the annual charity fundraising up, and together with another YouTuber, we made this VR experience specifically for the event. It was called the Virtual Polar Expedition. I really loved this thing. It was a buggy mess, obviously, but it was fantastic, and I would love to do a whole story on this, but obviously we don't have time. This event raised about $4,000 for Macmillan Cancer Support. And that's sort of where my YouTube channel ended, in my opinion. I was 18 years old in 2016, still with about 100,000 subscribers. I went to study computer science at university. I kept making videos for a little while, but my heart wasn't really into it. Became much less regular. I did have a brief resurgence in 2019. I co-hosted a live podcast show with fellow YouTuber Ronin Porn, who is American, and porn is pronounced quite differently. I had to be really careful. We were video calling on separate continents, but green screened ourselves in to this virtual studio, and I had to get really good at turning to talk to him and pretending that I could see him right there. I feel like the illusion was quite good. It was such a weird show. It was a mix of podcasting about games and technology. We made comedy shorts, and I also wrote this D&D style role-playing game thing, which I just adored so much, and I thought it was so funny, mostly because he was incredibly funny, that I storyboarded it. I tried to animate it and stuff and make it look cool. I uploaded those videos separately to YouTube, and each one got about 200 views. And that just made me feel really terrible, because I had really gotten used to having about 20,000 views per video on my KSP stuff, to the extent that even years later, I just couldn't let go of that expectation. So instead of doing that, I spent more and more time just writing and preparing D&D sessions for my friends at university. And in doing so, I learned that creating something for 3 or 4 close friends and enjoying it with them was so much more fulfilling than putting a video out into the void for 100,000 strangers to anonymously maybe comment on, if they watched it at all. So that discovery pretty much closed the book on making videos for me. I think sometimes I miss it. I do miss it a little bit, but when I think deeper about it, I think I'm just missing this superficial sense of popularity, this craving of this attention, these views. It was an important phase of my life. I definitely don't regret it or anything. I mean, it happened during my most developmental years. It shaped a lot of who I am today. It was exciting. It was also a lot of pressure. I really felt obligated to make videos, and I felt really frustrated when they didn't get a lot of views. But I'm proud of it. I am also quite embarrassed about bits of it, so don't go digging too deeply, anybody. I also learned a lot of technical skills, video, audio production, as well as skills like this: presenting, public speaking, organizing events. And that is it. That's the story of my YouTube channel. Thank you very much.